Welcome back with a smiling face. Links to previous episodes are given in the video description, so don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. Luna of the Lost Moon. Blurb. In unison, the entire room gasped as Serena proclaimed, "You're the Moon Wolf, Lola. You're the wolf with the power of the Moon Goddess." Following her rejection by her mate in the moonlit pack, Lola fled on a full moon just to find herself around the next Alpha King, who was also her second chance mate. Because he has requested a Luna by his side, Adrien has not been able to take on his position as the future Alpha King. He was left in a bind when it turned out that the ruffian he had instructed to be murdered for trespassing on his property was his companion. Will Adrien turn down Lola because she entered his territory as a rogue? Will he be able to put his past behind him and give Lola a chance, or will he turn her down and proceed with Faye as the Luna he has selected? When everyone realizes how much influence Lola has and how she is expected to defend her kind in the impending war, what will transpire? Episode 1. Lola's POV. Grayson Dawson, Alpha of the Moonlit Pack, reject you, Lola Ashton, as my mate and Luna of this pack. I heard Grayson's voice reach my ear and a single tear ran down my left cheek as it felt like my heart was being ripped out of my chest. Why me? Why am I always on the receiving end of bad things? What have I ever done to deserve this? I wanted to scream and shout at him. I'm his mate, his fated one, and he's rejecting me because I'm the runt of the pack? More tears ran down my cheeks and I saw him smile at my misfortune. I, Lola Ashton, accept. I did not finish my sentence before he held me up by my throat and snarled in my face. His eyes had already changed colors, so I knew his wolf was in charge. You will not reject me. I am your owner and I tell you what to do and when. He slapped me across the face and threw me on the ground. I struggled to catch my breath and tears ran down my face freely. I shouldn't have been born. I haven't done anything to deserve this at all. Jasmine howled in pain in my head and I doubled over in pain, clutching at my chest. I just want this to be over and done with. Maybe when I die all these pain will go. I heard mocking laughter above my head and looked up only to see Freya. Freya is the daughter of the current beta and soon to be Luna. She's everything I am not: beautiful blue eyes with shiny blonde hair, killer body, glowing skin, strong and extremely wicked. She stood there with her minions looking at me with pity. I couldn't quite place what that emotion in her eye is. She laughed all of a sudden and kicked me in the stomach. She pulled my hair and slapped me, making me fall back on the floor. You actually thought you could be Luna? That Grayson will pick you over me? You're just a worthless piece that nobody will love. You bring bad luck and misfortune to people around you. You're a whore that will die alone because no one wants to be with you. She spat in my face and kicked me in the ribs with her heels. I could not say anything because it would be deemed rude, which would worsen my punishment. Her minions held me up as she slapped me repeatedly and punched me in the stomach. She laughed maniacally as I screamed out in pain and tears ran down my cheeks. When she was done with me, she threw me on the ground, making me hit my head in the process. Jasmine was quiet in my head. She's always trying to take all of my pains away, but the abuses never stop. We've hoped for 8 years that we'd finally find our mate, our one true love bestowed upon us by the Moon Goddess, and they will love us unconditionally. That's what mates do. We really hoped we'd be free from this slavery, constant mockery, and abuse, but all that has gone down the drain now. All these sufferings started 8 years ago when my parents, the then Alpha and Luna of the Moonlit Pack, died in a rogue incident and the blame was placed on me. I was just 10, I did not know what really happened. One moment I was chatting happily with Mom and Dad and they were gone before I could blink my eye. The pack blamed me and stripped me of my alpha powers, they could not allow a traitor to rule them. Till now, I still don't know what I did wrong, I don't know what went wrong, I just had to bear the brunt of it all because the current alpha who was my father's beta said so. I was demoted to an omega, the lowest rank for any wolf, the biggest insult on any wolf of high ranking. I became the slave of the pack at a young age, all the people who were nice to me became my enemy and treated me like trash. Jasmine, I'm so sorry for putting us through all of this, if only I wasn't so weak, if only I can stand up for us. I know you've always wanted your mate, I'm so sorry Jas, I cried through our mind link. None of this is your fault Lola, I'm sorry for not being able to protect you more. If only I could shift and take all your pain away, Jasmine whimpered in my head sadly. Nobody has ever seen Jasmine, I've only ever met her once myself and that was before Mom and Dad passed away. She's a pure white wolf with golden eyes. She's a very pretty wolf but Mom and Dad said I have to keep her hidden, they never told me why. I knew I was special, Mom always called me her special little wolf. Others got their wolf at age 16, alphas got theirs at age 14 but I've had Jas since I was 8 and besides, I've never seen anyone with a pure white wolf and golden eyes. Everyone thought I don't have a wolf and looked down on me because of it. We've not been able to shift even if we wanted to because we don't have the energy for that. There's barely enough to eat and the beatings we get each day is enough to weaken any wolf. I'm surprised I still have Jasmine with me. I suddenly felt fire in my lower stomach and cried out painfully. People were passing but no one paid me any attention, nobody cares if I die, they actually wanted me dead. Jasmine howled in pain in my head as the pain ran wildly through every vein in my body and I knew Grayson was already getting it on with Freya. This is why he did not allow me to reject him, he knew I was going to be in pain if he's with another woman besides me. Fresh tears started pouring down my cheeks. I weakly stood up and went towards my room in the cold basement, the pain did not stop, it only got worse. I could barely see where I was going and tripped twice. I wanted to curl up and die, it felt like lava was running through my veins and I removed all my clothes and laid on the stone bed that I always sleep on. The pain gradually subsided and Jasmine went silent in my head. She was so sad, I was very sad too. I just wanted to be special to someone, I don't want a lot. I knew I had to escape this somehow, I had been bearing it because of the thought of a mate but now that there's nothing here for me, I had to leave. Grayson and Freya's coronation as the new Alpha and Luna is tomorrow evening, I have to leave. Jasmine and I deserve better and I need to give it to her. Hang in there Jasmine, I'll get us out of here as soon as possible I promise, I said to Jasmine and heard her lowly whining in acknowledgement of my words as I drifted off to sleep. Lola's POV. I was startled awake when I felt water on my body, I was still processing where the water could have come from when I felt stinging pain across my cheeks. I opened my eyes and saw Aaron, Grayson's best friend, standing over me with a bucket in his hand. He must have dumped the bucket of water on my head. Get up, he barked at me making me stand up quickly, almost tripping on my feet. I remembered stripping myself of all my clothings the night before and rushed to cover my body, earning myself another slap on the cheek. I fell down, hitting my head on my stone bed. I felt sticky liquid trickling down my forehead and Loli hissed in pain. You think because you're Gray's mate, you'd be treated differently? You're just a stupid nobody that will never be recognized. Freya is our Luna, you're just a wretched piece that will die lonely, he said to me mockingly and kicked me repeatedly. I'm sure my body has fresh bruises, the ones that were there are still taking time to heal. I have to get Jas and I out of here, I'd die at this rate if I refuse to do something. You have a lot to do today, we're crowning our new Alpha and Luna today and everything has to be fully prepared for that, he barked at me. I nodded my head meekly while looking at the floor. He held my chin roughly and made me look him in the eye. You should be grateful I came to get you and not Grayson. You were trying to seduce whoever came to get you? Nobody will want you, your body is not even attractive. You'd be good to relieve stress though, pathetic little peesh, he spoke as he groped me. I felt disgusted and wanted to crawl out of my skin as he touched me. Tears poured down my face but I dare not talk back or refuse or I'd be in more trouble. Be out in 5 minutes peesh, or there will be consequences, he barked at me and left me after slapping me one more time. The torture and pain never stop. We all used to be friends, then they suddenly turned on me. I wish it will stop, I haven't done anything wrong. I knew I had to get up before the punishment gets worse, I always get up early, I must have been so drained from what happened yesterday. I got up, went to the basin at the corner of my room and washed my face and wore my dirty gown like that. I packed my once platinum blonde hair that's now dirty brown due to the dirt that has accumulated in it. I've never enjoyed basic amenities since I became an Omega. No new clothes, I only take my bath once in a week and barely have enough water to wash my hair or even look remotely good. I only eat leftover from the pack, sometimes I'm not even allowed to eat. This is not a life I'd wish on anyone, even the poorest in the pack don't live like this. I limped to the kitchen, doing my best to avoid pack members to avoid any additional punishment or insult that morning. As my luck would have it, I met the current Luna, Grayson's mom, and Freya in the kitchen discussing clothes and fashion. Immediately I entered the pack kitchen, Luna Natalie sprung on me and barked out orders. Freya looked like she was enjoying my pain as Luna listed out what I'm supposed to do before her son's coronation tonight. I nodded my head and she left the kitchen with Freya behind her, not before she accidentally spilled the drink she was having before I came in and broke the glass, leaving it for me to clean. I sighed in relief as they both left without touching me, they must be in a good mood today. I rushed to wash the plates used by the pack members that morning. My stomach grumbled as I thought about food, I had not eaten anything since yesterday afternoon and I probably won't be getting food till evening. I sighed and carried on with my job. The pack's ballroom was next, I had to make it squeaky clean or get a beating from Luna Natalie. I got to work cleaning it and was done by noon. I had to clean the whole pack house too and could barely stand by the time I was done. I hate my life. I haven't heard from Jasmine all day, she was probably still recovering from yesterday night. The wolf feels it most when their partner have sex with another she-wolf. I felt so sad for her and that only fueled my determination to break free from this cruel pack that has deemed me worthless. Hearing voices, I snapped out of my thoughts and tried to make myself small on instinct. It was probably time for lunch. My stomach grumbled again even though I know I won't be getting any food till night time. I felt him before I saw him and went still as I felt him move closer to me. I dare not look up at him if I do not want more problems to myself. He lifted my chin and looked into my eyes. He smirked evilly at me and I felt my ears ringing before I could even process what was going on. He slapped me. I did not even do anything wrong and he slapped me. I heard people around me laughing mockingly. You dare to be in the same room as me and look me in the eye, Desire? What have I told you about disrespect and the consequences that comes with it? He growled at me angrily and gripped my chin to the point that it started hurting. Tears streamed down my face and Jasmine whimpered lowly in my head. Her mate was hurting her and she could not even communicate with his wolf side because she had to stay hidden for our safety. She receded to the back of my mind, leaving me to face this monster alone. I guess I'm on my own now. I need to teach you a lesson that will permanently put you in your place, a lesson I should have taught you sooner. You'd be ready for me tonight. I'd take you however I want and you'll take it like the whore that you are. Make sure you clean up nice after my coronation tonight. I'll deal with you and others can have their turn, he said and loud cheers went off in the room. Could not believe my ears. He was going to rape me. He was going to rape me. They're horrible people but no one ever dared to take my innocence. I've lost everything. I can't lose the only dignity I have left. I felt disgusted and wanted to puke out my insides. How can anyone be so vile and cruel? He said he wanted to rape me and everyone cheered him on. Freya was in the room when he said it and she had no problems with that. Just great. He said right after their coronation, I need to get as far away from here as I can. I can't go on like this. This pack is trapped up and I refuse to live like this anymore. I'd rather go rogue than live in a pack that has no mercy for who was once a part of them. They shortly left and I fell to the ground. I was still in shock of what I saw and heard. He was going to break me completely and then give me to his friends to humiliate. I won't wait for such to happen. I'll protect you, Jas. I'll protect us. I'll not let anybody taint you. I'd rather die running, were my thoughts as I finally found the strength to leave my position in the floor and made my way to the basement. Tonight. I have to leave tonight. Lola's POV. I sat down on my stone bed thinking about my life so far. Jasmine had been holding on for too long. I couldn't let her go through this anymore. I used to be almost everyone's favorite in the pack until Mom and Dad passed. I don't know what came over Aunt Natalie and Uncle Andrew, Grayson's mom and dad. It's like they've been waiting for the opportunity to make me worthless. They used to be very nice until they were not. People that were not in the pack before that incident did not know I am the daughter of the last Alpha and Luna. Everybody in the wolf world thought I was dead, that's what I heard. I can't get raped, I can't get my innocence taken away from me and by that vile bastard nonetheless. I have to come up with a plan. I don't care if I die running, I have to leave this pack before I am humiliated. I have to eat this afternoon, I'll need the energy if I'm going to be running. That bastard is definitely going to send people after me so I have to be in my wolf form. Jasmine, you there? I mind-linked Jas and she whimpered in response in my head. I'll need you tonight, girl. I'll need you if I'm ever going to make it out alive. I can't let him do this to me, to us. We have to fight our way out of this bondage. We waited because we thought we might find love but it's over now, Jas, we need to run, I said pleadingly to Jasmine. I don't know if I can do it for us, Lola. What if we get killed on sight because of my fur color? What if he catches up to us? What if we don't make it alive? I'm so weak and I've only ever shifted once. I don't want to let you down, Lola, Jasmine said weakly in my head, and fresh tears ran down my cheeks. We don't deserve any of this. Jas, we need to try, girl. There's a full moon out tonight. I heard we get stronger when there's a full moon. Maybe that will give us strength to propel forward, but we can't stay here tonight. We might find help in another pack. Anything but here, Jasmine, I said to her. You're right, we've been taking this for too long. It's time we break free and start over. We run tonight, Jasmine said in my head with newfound determination. Her words made me see rays of hope and newfound determination. I stood up and made my way to the pack kitchen to see if there's any food I can make do with till evening. I need to eat to at least get enough energy to run. I went to the kitchen and there were slaves running around cooking up a feast for Freya and Grayson's coronation. I was disappointed and was about to leave when I spotted Jane. Jane is an elderly woman and she used to be our head cook. She's the only one in the pack who doesn't treat me like I'm beneath her. She can't be nice to me publicly though, or she'd be punished. She saw me as I was about to leave too and came to meet me in the hallway. She hugged me with tears in her eyes and I hugged her back too. She has always been like a grandmother to me. She pulled me towards a dark corner in the hallway where she broke down in tears seeing my state. She's not been to the pack in a while. I guess she quit her job, but why was she back tonight? She saw her mouth moving and tried to listen to her over her thoughts. Heard he rejected you and chose Freya anyway. I'm so sorry, Lola. No one deserves to be treated like that by their mate, she whispered with tears running down her cheeks, and I hugged her again. You look malnourished, child. Do they ever feed you? I'm sorry I left without telling you. I had to go see my daughter in another pack. She gave birth to her first child and I went to see her, she told me while looking me over. My stomach chose that moment to grumble again. I looked down in embarrassment. Have you had anything to eat today, child? I shook my head negatively and she told me she'd be back for me. As she left, I tried to make myself small and invisible to anyone passing. I can't take any more beating and assault today. I need to be somewhat okay for me to be able to escape. Jane soon came back with a paper bag in her hand. She gave it to me and hugged me tightly after telling me to live well. It was almost like she knew I was going away. I thanked her and left for the basement again. I could not eat a lot. It was almost like my body was used to not being fed and rejected the food. I sighed as I kept the paper bag. I could not let anyone find it or I'd be punished. I was waiting for night to fall and the coronation to start while praying to the moon goddess to give me the energy and luck to escape this vile land that has done nothing but cause me pain. I shook in my seat when I heard footsteps coming down the basement. I looked up and saw one of the pack guards and slightly relaxed. They're not as worse as the high-ranking wolves. It's time for the coronation and Alpha Grayson requires you to be near the ballroom. His deep voice boomed, making me jump in my seat, and I nodded my head. He turned to leave and I followed after him. I don't want to incur wrath on myself. I followed him to where the coronation was taking place. It looked beautiful and magnificent. Beautiful flowers were used to create an arch in the doorway and was also scattered across the room. People dressed in white, women in elegant gowns and men in fitting suits, were scattered around the room chatting. I stood out in my dirty attire and unkempt appearance. I knew Grayson brought me there to humiliate me and show me that I'd never be his Luna because I'm below him. People gave me dirty glances and some even cursed me out, but I kept my head down the whole time. I stood to a side in the ballroom and made myself small. The chatters in the room suddenly quieted down and I looked up to see Grayson in a black suit that was perfectly tailored to suit him and Freya in a blood-red gown with thigh-high slit that accentuated all of her curves. She looked so good with her hair in waves that she let down to frame her beautiful face. Her makeup looked minimal and I could not even deny the fact that she looked stunning. Together, they looked amazing and Jasmine howled in pain in my head seeing her mate with another she-wolf. They made their way to the stage and people started clapping, focusing all of their attention on them. Grayson made eye contact with me and smirked evilly. That gesture made me sick to my stomach because I knew what awaited me if I don't escape before the coronation ends. Everybody focused their attention on their future rulers and I took that opportunity to sneak out of the ballroom and out of the pack house. The moon was high up in the sky and shined brightly, almost like the moon goddess was making way for me. I made my way to the end of the pack, avoiding patrol and guards. Security is not as tight at the pack boundary and I sent a thanks to the moon goddess. Right before I morphed into my wolf, I said the words I should have said since the moment I knew he wasn't going to choose me. Using my original title, I said those words, I, Lola Ashton, the daughter of Alpha Ryan and Luna Lillian of the Moonlit Pack, accept the rejection of Grayson Dawson, the son of Beta Andrew and female Beta Natalie, as his mate and chosen one. I said and felt a surge of power through me at the same time I heard a wolf howling in pain and distant. Jasmine took over my body and I was a pure white wolf. I felt a new burst of energy coursing through my veins, then I ran. I ran with everything in me and never looked back. Lola's POV then I ran. I ran past the pack boundary feeling the barely there bond I had with the pack break within me and I felt free. Jasmine howled in happiness as her paws hit the ground and she charged forward at full speed. I heard distant howling and knew Grayson had sent his men after me. Jasmine charged on wildly feeling the wind in her fur. I'm sure she's not even bothered about the fact that warriors could have been sent after us. She's never felt such freedom before and was just basking in it. We were on unclaimed lands, which means rogues could be around. I've heard about rogues even though I don't know what they looked like. Memories from when Mom and Dad died seem to have vanished, but I do know rogues are dangerous wolves that have lost their touch with their human sides. They're said to look wild and have red eyes and will kill anything in their sight. I heard howls get closer and knew we had company. Grayson must be so desperate to have sent men after me. I don't even mean anything to him. He shouldn't have bothered himself with things as trivial as me. Jasmine did not falter for once or show any signs of weakness as she charged on, dodging branches and jumping over trees. I know we had to lose the wolf on our tail and also, no one can find out about us, so we have to conceal our fur color. We passed a muddy water and Jasmine rolled in it, making our fur brown and dirty. I knew that was not enough to mask our scent, but it sure helped with concealing out color. JAS, we can't get caught now. We need to mask our scent so we can buy enough time to get us into another pack, I said to her through our mind link. I know, Lola. We have to find a lake or large body of water and drench ourselves in it, or find pile of waste to mask our scent. I don't know how far we have to go till we reach a pack that we can crash in, she said, not once stopping to catch her breath. We saw a lake ahead and dived into it. It was freezing and I felt it to my home even though I wasn't in human form. Jasmine growled lowly and slowly laid down in the part of the water that wasn't too deep, but deep enough to conceal us if anybody passed by. We saw about 5 wolves come into the view and stayed as still as we could. I prayed to the moon goddess that I'd not be discovered. I don't know what will be done to me if I go back and I never want to find out. I'd rather die out here alone than go back to that evil pack. I felt one of the wolves sniff the air around us and Jasmine held her breath. The wolf came up with nothing and they lurked around for a while before they turned back the way they came. We waited a while before leaving the lake and running into the forest as far as our limbs will take us. We ran into the early morning before stopping by a tree to catch our breath. Jasmine, let me shift back so you can rest a bit before we continue, I said through the mind link. She looked tired and our limbs were already brown from running all night. I can't allow you shift back, human. We did not bring a change of clothes and it's so cold out here. We need to stay in this form to conserve energy and body heat, she said and I had to agree with her. We did not think this through, we just wanted to escape without knowing where to go or how to go about it. I did not know our pack is so far from other packs as I've never been outside that pack for 8 years. Jasmine saw a rabbit and killed it. She ate part of it and left the remaining beside her as we drifted off to sleep. The sun was high up by this time. I hope we won't be captured in our sleep, was my thought as Jasmine rested her head on her forelimbs and closed her eyes. We woke up when the sun had almost set and began running again. We need to find a pack that will take us in. We did not escape Grayson just to live in this place forever. We continued this way for 2 days. Sleeping when the sun is up and running when the sun goes down. We have been in wolf form since we left Moonlit Pack. Our speed has reduced drastically and our fur is already brown from sleeping on the forest floor. The 3rd day rain started falling and we could not stop to sleep. Jasmine was about to lay down under a big shaded tree when a smell filled our nose. It smelled like a dead rat but 10 times worse. Jasmine rolled in the muddy floor to really conceal our fur color, seeing as we had company. Through the heavy rain, we saw glowing red eyes. Rouge. The wolf looked wild and feral and the rotten smell came from it despite the heavy rainfall. It snarled at us and our survival instincts kicked in making us growl back too. The wolf eyed us hungrily and we snapped at him daring him to come closer. He growled loudly and charged at us trying to get a hold of our neck. She instinctively moved to the side and the rouge wolf missed. This seemed to annoy him and he made a move to snap at our left hind limb. We did not see that coming and he bit a chunk off our hind limb. We howled in pain and limped to the side when the wolf tried to attack us again. We instinctively slashed at his chest and he fell backwards. We started circling each other and the rogue moved to bite the left side of our stomach. He grabbed us unexpectedly and bit off a bit of our stomach making blood stain our fur. Suddenly a surge of electricity ran through us and the rogue was thrown back, hitting his back on a tree. He charged towards us again and we moved to the right, biting into his neck when he came close enough. He struggled to release himself but we held him down making blood spill everywhere including our fur. We dropped him to the ground and stood on top of him, clawing at him blindly making him howl out in pain. Right before his life ended, his eyes shone with something I could not quite place. I think it was fear, and I wondered what he saw in our eyes that made him afraid. Once he was dead, I ran. I ran until I came across a claimed territory. I ran into the land and heard howls around me. They think I'm a rogue. I ran into the middle of the pack and felt myself being surrounded by big wolves. They snarled at me and I snarled back. I'm not going to get treated like trash again, I'm not going to be imprisoned again. I was about to attack one of them when I felt a needle in my side. I got dizzy and fell to the ground, changing into my human form. Take her to the dungeon and await the Alpha's order, I heard as I was picked off the ground by rough hands. I thought I escaped this, I was going to really die now, were my thoughts as I lost consciousness. Adrien's POV. I sat down dejectedly at the back of the car as Thomas, one of the pack warriors I took with me, drove back to the pack. Another search for my mate to other packs proved to be futile. I have been doing this for 2 years now and all proved abortive. What I want the most in this life is my mate, someone I can love and cherish and call my own. Someone that will rule my kingdom alongside me and bear my pups when the time is right. My own queen. I see my parents in love every day and I wish I can have that for myself. My dad loves my mom so much and the same goes for her too. They have the kind of love I wish I'd always get, but I haven't found my mate. I have been going round packs under the guise of checking up on them, but my motive is to find my mate. A mate has been chosen for me, but I don't want to live like that. I will be crowned the Alpha King soon and I need my Luna beside me to get that title. This is my last trip to find my mate. I've gone to every pack and still nothing. My heart felt heavy and I cursed out the moon goddess as I made my way back to the pack. A mate has been chosen for me in case I do not find my mate, she'd be crowned Alpha Queen alongside me. I did not like that idea, but Dad said it was for my own good, it was to prevent alphas from rebelling against me. I guess I have to put my people before my desires. We got to the pack house and I was welcomed by my mom. At 43 she looked nothing over 25. Damn werewolf gene. I took after her facially but have my dad's physique. She came running out of our home and peered into the car excitedly. Her face dropped in sadness when she met it empty. I shook my head negatively as she looked at me and she came to hug me. She held my hand as she led me into the house. We met my dad in the kitchen area with newspaper in his hand and he looked up as we entered. He saw that I came back empty-handed and came to hug me sympathetically. My parents have always supported me in whatever I did, I'm not even mad at them for choosing a mate for me, they're only doing what's best for me. I excused myself and went into my room. Dixon sighed sadly in my head and I felt so sad for him. I want my mate too, but it's harder for him as my wolf side to be without his true mate. We tried our best, Dixon. Maybe the moon goddess doesn't have a partner for us, or maybe she's dead. We've searched every pack and came up with nothing. I am the next Alpha King, I need to consider my people before my own needs now, I said to him through our mind link and he receded to the back of my mind, not even replying me. I was about to undress when I felt my best friend and next beta, Nathan, trying to reach me through the pack's mind link. I put down my barrier and heard his voice. You man, you're back already. Did you find her? He asked me excitedly. Everyone has been waiting for their next Luna since I turned 14, so I get why he's so excited. Nah, bro. I did not find her. I guess the moon goddess doesn't have a mate for me, I laughed dryly through the mind link and heard him sigh. I'm so sorry man. Actually, I mind-linked you to tell you we found a rogue on Packlands earlier today. Dylan told the men to take her to the dungeon. We were waiting for you to come back to decide what to do with her, Nathan said through the mind link. Rogue? A female rogue? We haven't had any rogue attacks since forever. What were the patrol wolves doing when she came into the Packlands? Did she hurt anybody? And why is she still alive, Nathan? I said with anger. We haven't had rogue attack for 8 years now. The last one took something precious from me and I hate rogues with passion. They're vile dirty creatures that do not deserve any sympathy from anyone. Man, she looked so weak and afraid. It was like she was running from something. She wasn't feral, she was afraid. And she turned back into her human form once she was tranquilized. Besides, it was early hours of the morning, the men on patrol were few. Nathan tried to make me see reason but I wasn't having any of it. I don't care, Nathan, rogues are dangerous creatures and should be killed on sight. I don't want her near my pack members. Kill her, Nathan, I said angrily through the mind link and put up my barrier. As I removed my shirt, I heard Faye, my chosen mate, come in. Faye is beautiful and loved by everyone but she's not my mate, Dixon, and I do not feel anything for her. We want mate. You're back, Adrien. I heard you did not find your mate, she whispered in my ear in what she thought was, and I felt disgusted. Get your hands off me and get out of my room, Faye, I growled out in my alpha voice and she scurried out of my room. I did not want to be mated with another one other than my mate. I want to feel everything Mom and Dad have. I was done bathing and about to get some shut-eye when Mom came barging into my room looking angry. Oh. I don't know what I did but Mom can be pretty scary when she's mad. I did not train you to be like this, Adrien Lucas Woods, Mom said angrily, and I knew I was in trouble because she used my full name. I did not do anything, Mom. I just got back from my trip and I came to my room. I haven't done anything, I promise. I looked at her thinking about what I could have done wrong. Was it because I told Faye to get out? Mom doesn't even like her like that. She just agreed because she's the best option for me. That's exactly what you did. You did not do anything. A rogue was caught on the Packlands after 8 years and you were not going to find out what brought her into our land? You're the next Alpha King, Adrien. You can't take things lightly like this. What if there are more of them and she's a spy? What if we can get more information out of her and you gave orders that she should be killed? Mom exclaimed angrily and marched out of my room. I sighed and mind-linked Nathan that I'll be at the dungeon in half an hour and nothing must be done to the rogue. I dressed up and went downstairs to get something to eat. I'll need the energy to deal with that intruder. I left the pack house and felt Dixon get restless in my head. He's never restless and that got me worried. What's it, buddy? Is something wrong? I asked through our mind link. I don't know. I have the feeling that something is about to happen at the dungeon. I can't place what it's going to be, Dixon replied me back. I quickened my pace to the dungeon. I hope I don't shed blood today. I'm unstoppable once I start, another reason I need my mate. Lola's POV. I woke up to stinging pain in my side, stomach, and left leg. My wounds from when that rogue attacked me hasn't fully healed. I sat up and saw that I was in silver chains. It was bound to my legs and hands but I did not feel any pain. Silver is harmful to werewolves, I have seen people in my former pack get hurt when they touch pure Seekver. I guess that doesn't apply to me, lucky me. I could not feel Jasmine in my head and started panicking. She's always been quiet, but right now she just seems to be missing from my subconscious. Jasmine, are you there, girl? Jasmine, please give me a response. Something, anything to confirm that you're still with me, I called out in panic in my head, my eyes starting to tear up. I can't lose Jasmine, she's the only one I have left in this cruel world. She's a part of me I don't ever want to lose. I'm trying to get some shut-eye, Lola. Why is your voice so loud? I was in my form for days to protect you, and disturbing my peace is what you used to pay me back? Ungrateful human, Jasmine said playfully in my head, and I sighed in relief, my tears finally spilling onto my cheeks. You scared me, girl, I thought I lost you too, I sobbed into the mind link. Thank the moon goddess. You can't get rid of me that easy, girl. You're stuck with me for the rest of your life, she said with laughter in her voice, and I laughed weakly too. She's here forever, I need to stop panicking. It's like we have a kind of connection with dark places and imprisonment. We're back to being locked up, and this time we are in chains, I said to her with fake happiness, and she laughed. Jasmine actually laughed. I haven't heard her beautiful laughter since we became slaves in Moonlit Pack. We're intruders, Lola. We can't be allowed to roam Pack lands freely. We'll probably get punished when the Alpha get here, that's the only reason why we're still here in this dungeon, she said to me, and I nodded. She has a point. Even if we get killed here, at least that son of a gun did not strip us of everything. We're going to die with our innocence intact. I could not bear the thoughts of being touched by that vile creature that should burn in fire for all of eternity, I said with some sense of pride, and felt Jasmine nod her head. Why are you so relaxed, Jasmine? You have never been this relaxed or chatty in 8 years, am I missing something? I questioned her, seeing as she wasn't bothered about the fact that we were in bondage or imprisoned. I don't know, Lola. I just feel at peace on this land, I just know no harm will come to us, she responded lazily and receded to the back of my mind again. I was left with my thoughts after Jasmine went to sleep. What did she mean by that? Why are we safe in this pack? My thoughts were running at miles per hour when I heard footsteps coming towards my cell. The door opened and a man about 6 feet tall came in. I could not really see his features because of the darkness, but I saw he was well built and very masculine. I see you're awake, rogue. Care to tell me why you're on our land? He snarled at me, and I instinctively made myself small. I'm going to die, Jasmine was wrong. I curled into myself as the man came closer and tried to touch me. I could not look at him as I violently shook and willed quick death upon myself. What if they're worse than my old pack? What if I get defiled and humiliated here? What if Jasmine was wrong and we're going to face worse things than we've been through? These were the thoughts running through my mind as the man came closer. Realized the man hasn't touched me and dared to look up only to see his eyes glazed over. He must be mind-linking someone. I've seen people in my old pack do it even though I had no mind link with them. He suddenly turned on his heels and left without saying a word. I sighed in relief and continued sobbing quietly. I just wanted to die. Life has not been fair to me since Mom and Dad passed. Why did they not take me along? Why did they leave their only daughter in this world filled with evil? Jasmine did not react to all what was going on, and I wanted to smack her if I could. Our lives are on the line and she's still so chill and relaxed. What kind of wolf does that? Jasmine suddenly got restless in my head and I laughed out loud mockingly. Now, you've realized we're in danger? You were so chill and relaxed just now. What happened to I just feel at peace in this land? I just know no harm will come to us. Why are you suddenly restless, girl? I said to her mockingly. Shush your mouth, Lola. Something is going to happen but I don't know what it is, she replied, still moving about in my head. I know what it is, Jas. We're going to die, that's what is going to happen, do you not get it? And please settle down, you're giving me a headache with the constant pacing in my head, I angrily said at her. She's so annoying at times. I had barely said those words to Jasmine when I perceived the most amazing smell in the world. It smelled like coconut and woodpine and I wanted to stay buried in that smell forever. My eyes widened when I realized I've felt this before. When I found out my mate was Grayson. I got a second chance mate. This is very rare in the Wolf Kingdom and I got a second chance. Jasmine howled happily in my head and bounced around giving me a headache. A man came in followed by the man that came in before and stood before me. I saw his glowing golden eyes and Jasmine said the word in my head, mate. There's the rogue, Alpha, the man from before said, and all my world came crashing down. Alpha? Another Alpha? What kind of sick game is the moon goddess playing with me? Mine, his voice boomed around us making us know his wolf was in charge. He was coming towards me when his eyes suddenly changed colors and he stopped abruptly. He seemed to be having an internal battle with himself and turned on his heels and left. Oh, great, our second chance at love doesn't want us to. Way to go, moon goddess. Adrien's POV. No. This is not happening. Why does the moon goddess treat me like this? Desperation keeps bugging me to go back to see her. He finally found his mate and I'm keeping him from her. He wanted to take over my body but I had to stand my ground. Rogues took something special to me, I can't be with one of them. Mate doesn't smell like them. She's not wild or feral, she looked afraid of us. We did not even get her name before you stormed out of there. We need to go back and get her out of there, Desperation growled in my head and I blocked him out. I did notice all what he stated but it doesn't matter. She might be a spy, she could be a witch, she could be anything sent to destroy us. I can't allow myself fall into another trap again. I felt presence behind me and turned to see Nathan. Hey man, you good? He asked, placing a hand on my shoulder. I don't know how I feel about this whole thing, Nate. I've waited for my mate for a long time only to be blessed with a rogue. I think the moon goddess is toying with me on purpose. I hung my head in sadness and Nathan just sat there and listened. I don't know if this helps but I think she was genuinely running from something or someone. She was covered in blood that did not smell like hers when she entered the Pack lands. Also, when I went to the dungeons before you came in, she looked really terrified when I tried to get close to her to ask her questions. Nathan sounded sincere, almost like he sympathized with the rogue. Mate has been hurt? I'll find everybody that's ever laid a hand on her and kill them without mercy. She's mine and mine alone, Desperation thundered in my head and I rolled my eyes at him. I thought I blocked you out, I sighed into the mind link. We need to go and get mate. We need to talk to mate, we need to hold mate. I don't want to be away from her any longer. Don't make me forcefully take control, Adrien, it will not be good for everybody, he growled threateningly in my head and I mentally face-palmed myself. I was about to reply him when I felt Mom trying to mind-link me. Adrien Lucas Woods. I need you back at the house now, she yelled in my head and I groaned. This is the second time Mom will get angry at me today. You're having fun, Selene? I got to home and met a fuming Mom on the couch in the living room. Dad was beside her trying to calm her down and I took a deep breath before I moved towards them. I heard you found your mate, Adrien. Why is she not with you at the moment? Mom said suddenly calm and I almost looked away in fear. A calm angry mom is worse than the one that yells, that means Ezra is the one in control. Mom, she's a rogue. The rogue that was caught on the pack lands today is my mate. You know what rogues took from us, I can't allow myself fall for same thing twice. I tried to reason with her silently pleading to Dad that he should come to my rescue but he just sat still not saying anything. Great, I have to deal with two angry wolves. She's your mate for moon's sake, I don't understand why you left her alone in that dungeon. I'm sure Dixon doesn't agree with your decision. The situation was different 8 years ago, Dixon tried to warn us but you were adamant. What is wrong with you, Adrien? Mom said angrily and I just sighed in distress. I can't be with her, I don't care what Nathan or my parents think. She's dangerous, they're all dangerous, she's not any different. I want mate, human. We need to go and get mate, Dixon growled and moved around restlessly in my head, giving me headache in the process. Go, son. Go and get your Luna, as your father and Alpha, I command you to go get me the rogue, Dad said, using his alpha tone on me. Another reason why I wanted to find my Luna early. Father is still the current Alpha King even though the pack reports to me. He can easily control me with his alpha tone and I don't like it. Why are you still here? I said go and bring me the rogue, Dad growled at me. I growled back and went in the direction of my room, disobeying his orders. I sincerely wanted my mate, I want to hold her and cherish her forever but the circumstances surrounding it is holding me back. It's like the moon goddess is having fun playing with my love life. Why can't I get a normal relationship with a normal mate? I want to be able to love my mate without holding back on anything or having suspicions about her but I get that is out of the book now. As I lay on my bed, I mind-linked Nathan. Where are you, Nathan? I asked once I felt him lower his barrier to the mind link. I left for the pack house, Alpha. Is there a problem? He asked and I almost groaned with the order I was about to give him. Stupid mate bond. Get the rogue and take her to the pack house. Find a befitting job for her, either as a maid or something, I don't know. Just take her out of the dungeon, I reluctantly said. I didn't want her to get out of the dungeon alive if I had my way, but Dixon wants his mate and mother and father wants me to be with her too. I hate my life. I'm going to go ahead with making Faye my Luna, she's strong, beautiful enough, already understands what being a Luna entails and is not a rogue. You're not going to do that, Adrien. You won't treat mate like she's a slave, she's our fated one we're supposed to cherish and love forever, and you're not going to throw it out the window because of a stupid mistake you once made," Daxon snarled in my head. "I'm mating with Faye the next full moon and that's it, Daxon. We're the Alpha King, we need a powerful female beside us to rule our people, not some weak rogue wolf. At least she's going to be alive, I'm not killing her like I originally planned, deal with your emotions, man," I said to Daxon and cut off the mind link. "I'm going ahead with my plan. In 2 months, I'll be mated to Faye, the rogue wolf should be thankful I even kept her alive." I got into bed and tried to get some sleep, hopefully I won't have to deal with her again. I will reject her in the morning and everything will be over. Lola's POV. It's been hours since our second chance mate stormed out of the dungeon. I think it's already a day since we got to this land, and I just sat there thinking about how my life is in shambles. I could not even cry at how things turned out. I wasn't expecting a mate, I just wanted to escape the life of humiliation and constant fear I had to live in Moonlit Pack. My stomach rumbled, reminding me of the fact that I haven't had anything to eat for about 2 days now, not even a drop of water to drink. On the good side, I don't have any urge to relieve myself, so it's a win. I laughed out loud, making the guards at the door look back at me. "Yeah, you people should look, my life is a melodrama. I can't even shed tears, I can't find it in me to cry, I just saw down with my back on the wall laughing maniacally." Jasmine whimpered in pain in my head and I could not even bring myself to comfort her. "This is all my fault, if only she's not stuck with me. We've been rejected twice, the moon goddess must be really having fun with this. Are we really going to die like this? Are we really not worthy of love? Is this the kind of life we'll always lead?" Jasmine said lowly in my head. I almost did not hear her. "I don't know, Jas. I thought we were going to have a better life. I thought we were going to finally have freedom since we left Moonlit Pack, but I guess we have to face another rejection from another mate." I laughed humorlessly and hung my head. "But he hasn't rejected us, that has to be a good sign, right?" I wanted to cry all over again after hearing her say that. "Jasmine doesn't deserve any of this, we do not deserve any of this. All we wanted was to get away from the life we had in Moonlit Pack. Your mate is supposed to love and cherish you, all we've ever gotten is rejection. I'm sorry, Jasmine, but with our luck, it will only be a matter of time before he rejects us and probably kill us off. At least we won't be in pain anymore." I sighed and felt tears running down my cheeks. Just when I thought I was out of tears, I heard footsteps coming towards my cell and did not even bother looking up to see who it was. It doesn't smell like our mate though. I heard the cell doors unlocking and still remained unmoving. If I'm getting killed, they will at least come get me themselves from my position. Also, I'm still in chains, so I really couldn't move around so much even if I wanted to. The man from earlier came closer and I stiffened, hoping to the moon goddess that he won't molest me before killing me. I ran away from that. I don't want to be disrespected the same way here. "Get up," the man calmly said, and I stood up shakily and weakly. I could barely see what's in front of me. The adrenaline must have worn off. He came closer and unchained me. He nudged me towards the cell doors and I complied. I did not want to get extra punishment for disobeying him. He looked like high-ranking wolf and I did not want to get on his wrong side. We moved down the dark passageway and my body started trembling uncontrollably. Tears ran down my cheeks without my permission and I felt so miserable. We left the dungeons and I had to close my eyes for a short while to be able to adjust to the sudden change. It dawned on me that I haven't eaten in the last 2 days, my hair probably looks like it won't, which it did in all honesty, the clothes I was wearing looked somewhat clean and for that I'm thankful. I'm going to die wearing clean clothes at least, I laughed humorlessly in my head. The man is ahead of me now with me trudging behind him. We walked towards a large building that I can only assume is the pack house. We're going to be killed in front of thousands of people. We tried our best escaping death but I guess it's for the best yet? On a good note, we get to see Mom and Dad now. We get to be happy and worry-free forever, I said to Jasmine in my head with false happiness. I could not even feel the tears running down my cheeks at this point, my cheeks were numb, I was so tired and ready to give up any moment. Jasmine wasn't replying me anymore, I guess she was tired too. I'm sorry, Jasmine. We entered the pack house and every activity seemed to halt. People stared as I followed behind the man that brought me there, I wanted the floor to open up and swallow me at that moment. This is embarrassing. We headed towards the kitchen and I was shocked. What are we doing here? Why am I here with him? What is going on? Why is everybody looking at me with pity? Pity? I did not understand what was going on. My thoughts were trying to drown me until I saw the man's lip moving and tried to force myself back to the present. And you'll be working with them, the man said, hugged an elderly woman and left. And I'll be working with them? What's going on? Why am I working instead of being dead? I was lost and confused. The elderly woman walked up to me. She had warm brown eyes and brown hair with stray strands of gray here and there. She's about 5'3", I know because I was a little bit taller than her and I'm about 5'5". She had a warm smile and a motherly look around her. Something about her wanted me to just curl up in her arms and cry. Hello child, I'm Juliana, the head of all workers around here. Nathan said you'll be working with us starting today, what's your name child? She asked and smiled at me warmly reminding me of Jane. Lola, ma'am, I answered almost inaudibly, partly due to the fact that my voice was almost gone and hoarse and partly due to my being shy. You can call me Juliana, sweetheart. You look like you've been through a storm, let's get you cleaned up and start from there, okay? I nodded my head at her words and followed her to a room in the pack house. There's a bathroom in there and there should be change of clothes in the closet too. Get dressed and come back to the kitchen, child, so you can get something to eat, she said, and closed the door after I nodded my head in affirmation. Oh my goddess, what is going on? Was my thought as I stared at the door long after Juliana left. Lola's POV. I was still staring at the door minutes after Juliana left. I was still in shock at the sudden change in my fate. I thought I was going to die and now I'm taking a bath and being offered food? I really did not get what was going on but I decided to quickly take my bath. It's been a long time since I had that privilege of bathing in a bathroom and I don't want to lose my chance and subsequent privilege by making Juliana. I took in the room and was amazed by it. It had a large bed, large to me at least, there was a closet that was barely closing with the amounts of clothes in it. There was a vanity table with lots of girly things that I don't know what their uses are on it. The room itself looked really pretty with floral patterns everywhere and a neatly made bed. I made sure not to touch anything till I got to the bathroom, lest I get something dirty and the owner of the room gets mad at me. I don't want to get beaten or sent back to the dungeon. I slowly made my way to the bathroom and almost cried at the sight of different products for hair and skin that took up a small part of the bathroom. I've never had such luxury, I only heard girls in my former pack talk about it. 2. I gently removed my clothes and placed it on the counter. I made the mistake of looking at myself in the mirror and fresh tears made their way down my cheeks. No one would really want this kind of body. My eyes looked sunken and the bags under them looked so big. My face was full of dirt. My hair was matted to my head weirdly and it hurt me to look at my body. There were bruises all over my stomach and part of my thighs and legs where I could see, some were purple, some were brown and some black. I turned my back and choked on my tears as I saw my back. There were gashes and scars and my back was covered in bruises. My collarbone was so prominent, my ribs were visible and I looked so skinny and malnourished. I don't blame Grayson nor our second chance mate, I wouldn't want this kind of body either. I stopped scrutinizing my body in the mirror and went to stand under the shower head. It took me a while to figure it out, I almost froze to death with the cold water and barely avoided scalding myself with the hot water. I finally got a hang of it and set it to the temperature I liked and stood under it for a while feeling my new wounds sting and dirt leave my hair and body. I did not use anything inside the bathroom in fear of getting punished when the owner sees that I touched them. I learned my lessons the hard way in my old pack. I ran my hands through my hair and feeling years of accumulated dirt slowly leave my hair. I felt free and new and cried again in the shower due to how I was feeling. I suddenly went from almost dying to taking an overdue shower and I don't know what to feel about that. I felt Jasmine purring in my head and smiled a bit, we deserve this after all we've been through. After feeling a bit clean, I turned off the shower and gently used my dirty clothes to dry my body making sure I did not leave a speck of dust or stain behind in the bathroom. I left the bathroom careful not to slip on the floor since my body was still a bit wet, my feet especially. I got into the room and saw that a gown had been kept on the bed. I was confused because I did not touch anything before leaving for the bathroom. I picked up the gown and admired it. This is the first time in 8 years I'd be holding anything as nice and beautiful as the gown in my hand. The gown was midnight black and seemed like it would reach my knee. It is a summer gown and has pink dots as beautiful designs on it. It felt soft to touch and I wasn't sure if someone like me should put on something that pretty. I remembered that I kept Juliana waiting in the kitchen and quickly put on the gown. It reached my knee length but hung loosely off my body. I finally get to wear something nice and it doesn't even fit me properly, just my luck. I used my dirty clothes to pat dry my hair and used my hands to detangle it a bit although it proved to be a problem. I finally gave up on it and left it down as it is. I folded the clothes I had on before and held it in my hands as I left the room. I walked back the direction Juliana and I came from and the aroma of different foods wafted into my nose as I moved closer making my stomach grumble even louder. I know we haven't eaten in 3 days but you have to stop disgracing me like this, I thought in my head as I got closer to the kitchen. I entered the kitchen and about 10 pairs of eyes landed on me making me uncomfortable. I found Juliana's eye and she smiled at me warmly making me feel at ease a bit. I was glad she wasn't mad. I took my time and mentally let out a sigh of relief. She's the new girl, Juliana, a beautiful redhead with popping green eyes asked, looking towards me. I looked down at my hands and bare feet and held my breath awaiting the insults that would follow. Instead, I felt someone near me and looked up to see the redhead standing close to me. She smelled like strawberries and her skin glowed. "Hi, I'm Lila. Juliana told me your name is Lola, and you'll be working with us now. I'll be your roommate and your new best friend. It's nice to meet you, chica," she said rapidly and with so much energy, I could not respond for a few moments. "Nice to meet you too, Lila," I said timidly and was pulled into a hug. I stiffened and did not know how to respond back. She noticed and pulled back, apologizing to me. "I'm so sorry, Lola. I'm just excited to have a new friend. People say I have a lot of energy and that I talk too much, so they tend to avoid me. I feel like we're going to get along because you're not much of a talker and because I love the color of your hair and the blue of your eyes. Did you dye your hair or that's the natural color? If it's natural, then that'll be so cool. We'll be the unmatched duo with my red hair and your almost white hair." "I'm rambling again, aren't I?" she fired off rapidly, only stopping to catch her breath when she saw that I was in awe of how she's talking rapidly and the fact that other people in the kitchen were laughing at her. I laughed lightly and she clapped her hands in excitement, slightly bouncing on her heels. I like her already. I think I might have escaped the hard life in Moonlit Pack after all. I guess I'm not dying anytime soon as long as I avoid my mate whose name I don't even know. I got pulled back into reality when Lila asked me if I had eaten. My stomach took on that moment to make itself known and everyone laughed at that. Werewolf hearing. I was led to the counter by Lila as Juliana dished food into plates for me. I guess I'm free after all. Lola's POV. Juliana gave me a large portion of food that I knew I couldn't finish and instructed me to eat up. I wanted to tell her I could not finish it, but I did not want her to get mad at me, so I thanked her and started eating. The first bite tasted like heaven and I hungrily took more spoons, trying to fill myself before I'll be asked to do house chores or get the food taken from me. Oh boy, I've never tasted anything as good as this, or maybe I did before I became an Omega. I noticed everywhere was quiet and looked up and saw everyone's eyes on me. I dropped my spoon and looked up with my heart racing miles per hour. Great, I've pissed them off by eating hungrily. My eyes clouded over with tears and I tried to keep them in. Calm down, child. You're going to get indigestion at this rate. Juliana was the first to speak up. I was confused. They were not going to hurl insults at me or beat me up. I looked at them wide-eyed and Tracy came over to my side and patted my shoulder. No one will take the food from you, Lola. Take your time and eat slowly. You don't want to get sick and make your new roommate sad, do you? She asked me and I shook my head negatively. Now, eat your food and eat slowly. She put my spoon back in my hands and I felt my tears spill onto my cheeks. She cleaned it gently and gave me a warm smile. I've never received such kindness since Mom and Dad passed. It felt good. I ate my food slower than before while others went about their chores in the kitchen chattering away happily. It was a strange sight to behold. In fact, everything since I woke up that morning has been strange. Not getting rejected nor accepted, suddenly escaping death, taking a long warm shower, wearing new clothes and now maids chatting away happily. Even though I was the only Omega in Moonlit Pack, maids or cooks always had to wear uniforms, they did not have their own rooms or such girly products, they did not speak freely while going about their chores. I might have been treated like a rag, but they were not regarded as humans by the high-ranking wolves either. I felt full and looked at my plate and saw that I still had a bit of food inside it. I wasn't sure how Julie would react, but I called out to her anyway. "Ma'am," I spoke up, and she turned towards me. "It's Juliana or Julie to you, young lady." She put her hands on her hips and stared at me, making my heart race. "I'm sorry, Ma." "Juliana," she softened her features and smiled at me with sadness. I really can't tell people's emotions from their eyes. "It's okay, Lola, take your time with it." "What do you want from me?" she asked with a smile still on her face. I can't finish my food. I wanted to ask if I could eat it later." "I'm sorry I can't finish it," I said to her weakly, hoping that she won't get angry and hit me. "Oh, Lola, who hurt you?" "Of course I'm not mad at you, darling. You can only eat what your stomach will take. We don't control how much we eat. Just trash the remaining and wash your plates." She smiled at me and I slowly nodded my head. I stood up and went over to the trash can to dispose of the remaining food and washed my plates. I placed it where Lila told me to and joined them to start preparing lunch for the pack members. Apparently, about 150 members live in the pack house and will be coming in to eat soon in batches. The higher-ranking wolves have their own houses in the town, so it's just most teenagers in the pack house and some adults too. We got to work preparing food for 150 wolves with extra in case some want to go for extra. It was fun to say the least. I've never had direct contact with pack members, not even the maids, so I did not know cooking was so much fun. We made fajitas, mac and cheese and apple pie for dessert. I got to meet the remaining kitchen workers as we worked. There was Rose, Tiana, Justina, Aria, Susan, Chloe, Jessie, and Tanya, I think. I can't really remember all of their names, but I know their faces and that's what matters, right? I was not talking but listening to them bicker and talk amongst themselves, with Juliana cautioning them once in a while when they're getting out of hand. Was fun, and the most I've ever felt involved in a long time. We soon finished making the food and I was proud of what I could do, although I was just a part of it. I found out I loved cooking and I wanted to do it more. Voices were soon heard and my nerves returned. Juliana noticed my discomfort and said I can excuse myself. I thanked her and dashed to Lila's room. I'm not ready to face a large group of people yet. People can be scary and mean. I've had 8 years of experience. I was sitting on the bed trying to calm my nerves when Lila came in. I quickly got on my feet hoping she wouldn't be mad I sat on her bed without her permission. I saw pity in her eyes before she masked it and made me sit on the bed. You do know I'm not going to get mad at you for sitting on my bed, right? I don't know what you've gone through, but I'm not going to harm you, Lola. Please be comfortable in the room, she said, sitting beside me. I nodded my head and her bubbly personality returned. Oh, that reminds me. I came in here because Nathan wants to see you. What's your relationship with him? Julie said he brought you today too. I looked at her in confusion. Nathan? Who's Nathan? I asked her, still confused. The guy who brought you here today? Our next beta. My eyes widened when it finally clicked in my head. Why was he here again? I thought he already left me here to start working, why was he back for me? I did not know I was already shaking until Lila shook me out of it. Hey Lola, I'm sure he's not here to hurt you. Nathan is a nice guy, he's loved by everybody. I'm sure it's all good, everything is fine. I'll be with you if that helps, she tried reassuring me and I nodded my head in agreement. We both made our way to the kitchen and saw the man from the dungeon, whom Lila called Nathan, having a chat with Juliana and smiling. Lila cleared her throat and he looked back at us, standing up when he saw us. Hi, Lola. How are you holding up? He said kindly to me and I looked at him in confusion. Dude, you locked me up without any water or light for a day and you're asking how I'm holding up. I'm fine, sir, I answered him shakily and Lila squeezed my arms assumingly. What's it, Nathan? You're making her uncomfortable, she snapped at him and I looked at her wide-eyed. He's the next beta and she's talking to him like that? She'd have been dropped in an instant in moonlit pack. He looked at her and rolled his eyes. These two weird are. The Luna wants to see her. My world tilted again as I heard those words. Oh. Adrien's POV. I woke up in the morning and felt like my head was going to split into two. Desperation is such a petty piece. He was probably pacing all night knowing it was going to give a massive headache when I woke up. You Desperation. This doesn't change my mind about anything, just so you know, I said to him through the mind link and he only growled in reply. I got up and went to brush my teeth and rinsed my face before I decided to the basement to work out. It's the only way to let off steam and anger and I was angry at everything. I went down the stairs and no one was awake yet. I guess it's still early. I checked the time when I entered the basement turned gym and it was 6:30 a.m. I am surely awake early for someone that has been on a roller coaster of events since yesterday. I took the first swing at the punching bag and I just imagined it was the moon goddess, the one who decided to play with my life like this. Slam. For making me find my mate late. Slam. For making my mate a rogue, creatures that I despise with my very being. Slam. For making my parents not dislike her because she's my mate. I could have easily gotten rid of her if my parents had seen her as a threat. I punched the bag over and over and over until I felt sticky liquid around my knuckles. My knuckles were bleeding. I didn't even know I was hitting the punching bag so hard until I heard Dad's voice behind me. I pity the poor punching bag. It would have passed out from pain if it were human. Wanna spar with me instead? He asked, smirking at me. I looked at the wall clock and it was already 9 a.m. I was punching the bag with so much anger and concentration, I did not realize time was far spent. Dad was messing with me on purpose but I wasn't going to back down. Bring it on, old man, I said, getting into position and flexing my already healed fingers. Perks of being a werewolf. He smirked and got into position too. He taught me everything I knew about fighting so it wasn't going to be easy to defeat him, especially when I'm angry like this. I should get some relief from Faye when I'm done here. 11. I threw the first punch and he blocked it, landing one on my stomach making me stagger back. But I got into position again. Dad was still smirking at me, he knows what he's doing. So you're going to reject her? He asked as I swung another punch in his direction, which he successfully dodged. She's a rogue, Dad. I have to reject her for the sake of everybody. I can't make the same mistake twice, I said as he landed another blow on my ribs. I'm sure Desperation doesn't agree with your decision, she's his mate too, you know. He said, throwing punches I keep dodging. Desperation is a biche, he's just being emotional because he felt the mate pull this time around too. I felt the mate pull the last time too, and I know what happened when I acted on it. I got angry and started throwing punches blindly. I wasn't even calculating Dad's next move until he landed a blow that had me on my back. I did not bother sitting up and just sprawled on the floor breathing heavily. I heard Dad leave the basement and still laid down on the floor not moving. I sat up after a while and checked the time, it was already noon. Geez, I need to get my act together. I mind-linked Nathan to ask if he had carried out my order. Hey man, what's up? His voice came through the mind link. Where's she? I asked, not even bothering with pleasantries. I need to know where she is so I can avoid such places. At the pack house. I handed her over to Julie as a maid. I nodded my head even though he could not see me. At least she's in good hands, not like I care. Juliana is like the pack's nanny, everybody likes her. Okay man, I'll see you later, I told him and cut off the mind link. I stood up and went to my room to freshen up, greeting Mom who's in the living room on the way. She told me I should come down when I'm done freshening up, to eat, and she also had something to discuss with me. I mentally rolled my eyes because I know she's going to talk about mate, but I agreed anyways. I freshened up and changed into a pair of grey sweatpants with a white thin t-shirt that clung to my frame and made my way down to eat my food. I had a cup of fresh coffee while Mom made my food for me. She always treats me like I'm still a baby, which I'm grateful for when it comes to food. She made pancakes, a whole lot of them, and stacked them on my plate. I had them with syrup and strawberries. I love Mom's cooking, it's always so delicious. I finished eating and cleaned my plate and placed it in its proper place before joining Mom in the living room. I knew what she was going to discuss but decided to humor her nonetheless. Oh, hey, you're done eating. Took you a while to finish your workout today, anything bothering you? She asked innocently, like she had no idea what I was going through. Mom, cut the act. I'm going to reject her and go ahead with Faye as my Luna as planned, I snapped at her. No, you're not going to reject her. She boomed in my ear and I just stood up and made my way to my study to do some paperwork. It's been left to me as the next alpha. I was engrossed in the paperwork. I did not realize time was far spent until I heard my mother's voice in my head. There's someone I want you to meet, get down here, she said, and the mid-link went quiet. I wonder what she wants now. I exited my room and was hit with the most amazing smell I've ever smelt, pineapple and coconut. I palmed my face when I realized what that meant, but a part of me wanted to know what my supposed mate looks like, so I kept moving towards the scent. I saw her before she saw me. She looked thin and malnourished and my heart broke at the sight of her. Her eyes met mine and they widened in fear. She tried to make herself even tinier than she was and I wanted to slap myself. Desperation whimpered in my head at the sight of her tiny frame and I almost went up to her to grab her and keep her close to me at all times. Her beautiful blue eyes teared up and I mentally kicked myself. I'm the cause of her tears and pain. I don't think I've introduced her to you. Adrien, meet Lola, our new maid. Mom smiled at me mischievously. I looked at her the same time she looked at me with wide eyes and cursed Mom in my head. What game are you playing, Mom? Lola's POV, his new maid? Their new maid? I think the moon goddess is having too much fun with this. So many scenarios ran through my head as the beta, Nathan, led me to the pack house after saying the Luna wanted to see me, but this definitely wasn't one of it. I should have allowed Lila to come with me. She wanted to come because she doesn't trust Nathan with me, but I told her it wasn't necessary. I regret that decision now. My eyes found his and I quickly looked away before he could see the tears in my eyes. I got demoted real quick, from a maid to a maid. The thought sounded funny to me and I laughed out loud, drawing attention to myself. I'm sorry, Luna, I apologized to the beautiful woman, who looked so young with her beautiful Bambi eyes and shoulder-length hair, before me. Her eyes crinkled in laughter and I bowed my head again. It's totally fine, Lola. We all have those moments with our thoughts and wolves, she said as she came towards me and patted my cheeks lovingly. So, child, you'll be working as our live-in maid and help me around the house. Oh, I'm so happy to finally have a female to talk to. These guys are so annoying sometimes, and to think I have to take care of 2 overgrown babies myself, it gets lonely sometimes, she sighed dramatically and put her hands to her forehead exaggeratedly. I smiled at her antics. She seems friendly and I felt warmth radiate from her. She gives off a motherly vibe. Yeah, like you remember what that actually feels like, Jasmine mocked in my head, and I almost screamed with excitement from hearing her speak since I left the dungeon. Well, look who decided to show up. I thought you broke your promise, you sly wolf, I said with a smile in my voice, and she laughed in head. I missed you too, Lola. You're clingy. I've been resting and it hasn't been 24 hours yet since I last spoke to you, she said, still laughing, and I smiled at her through our mind link. I heard someone cleared their throat and looked up to find the Luna looking at me with smile in her eyes. Does she knows I'm her son's mate? Does she know he's going to reject us? At the thought of rejection, Jasmine whimpered in my head again, and I felt very sad for having to put her through all of these. So do you know how to cook, sweetheart? Luna asked me, and I shook my head negatively. Not to worry, I'd teach you everything you need to know, she said to me, and I nodded my head shyly. Thank you, Nate. You can leave now or you've got something to discuss with Adrien, she asked, looking back at maid who hasn't moved a muscle. Adrien. I looked up at him to find him already staring at me. Goosebumps erupted all over my body and I felt the maid pull, which made me look away shyly. He doesn't want us. He did not even acknowledge me. I'm sure he doesn't even find me attractive. Come with me, darling. I'll show you to your room, then we'll come back and prepare lunch for us. Considering our future alpha did not have lunch yet, she grabbed my hand and led me towards the stairs where my mate was standing, still staring at me. He stood still as we made our way up the stairs. Our shoulders brushed each other when I passed him, and I swear, it was like I was electrocuted, but in a good way. Luna led me down a long hallway and opened up a room that was much larger than Tracy's own I saw before at the pack house. My eyes widened to the size of a saucer at how big the room is. It had to be the largest room I've seen since forever. It was a plain room with no decorations at all. There were 2 doors inside the room. I knew one led to the bathroom, but I had no idea what the second door led to. It has a queen-sized bed, a love seat by the window and opens into a balcony overlooking the forest. I wanted to run to the open space and breathe in the fresh air but restrained myself. The Luna has been nothing but nice to me and I did not want to push my luck by misbehaving in her presence. You like your new room? I know it's plain with no decorations at all but you can decorate it to your taste. It's yours now, she smiled and I looked back at her to find her already smiling at me. Yes, Luna. Thank you very much, I bowed my head at her and she pulled me closer, slightly frowning at me. Please call me Rose. There's no need for formality between us, we'll be living together now, you might as well comfortable, she told me and I nodded my head quickly. What do you say we go back downstairs and whip up something for our hungry wolves? She asked. Okay Rose, I said meekly and followed after her. As we passed the hallway, I caught wind of Adrien's scent and my eyes widened. The scent seemed to be coming from the third room from mine. Just great. I knew meeting him at some point is inevitable because I live in his home, but third room from mine? I can't avoid him every day. I sighed and followed after Luna Rose. Seeing how Adrien looked to be around 24, of course his mother will be over 40. She looked not a day over 25, her brown hair reached her shoulder and looked so silky I wanted to run my hands through it. I touched the split ends of my own hair that's coarse and still tangled somehow and sighed. I'll never be pretty enough for anybody. We reached the kitchen and I could still smell him in the air. Jasmine sniffed too and sighed longingly in my head and I rolled my eyes at her. Luna Rose moved towards the cooking area and started bringing out ingredients to make dinner, making me all excited and happy, even though I tried to keep it under reins. We started cooking and it was fun for me. Luna Rose is kind and patient and takes her time to explain things I don't understand to me. She made me feel comfortable a bit even though I've only been around her for less than an hour. I'm really starting to like this new beginning. I might be rejected by my second chance mate, but at least I'm not struggling from abuse and used as the pack's scapegoat anymore. I relaxed a bit around Luna Rose as we worked together to prepare food for her mate and Adrien. I felt eyes on me all the time I spent in the kitchen but shook it off. I'd never be accepted anyways. Adrien's POV: she looked so pretty cooking and laughing with Mom as they made food in the kitchen. The way her guard was up even though Mom was being nice and accommodating made me realize she's been hurt and it will take a lot to get her to open up to someone. And yet, you plan to hurt her again? Come on, man, just how stupid can you be? Desperation growled in my head and I sighed in sadness. I don't want to, buddy. I really don't want to hurt her too, but you know what happened the last time we trusted a rogue. You know what happened the last time I decided to see kindness in one of their kind. I almost lost you too, Desperation. I can't let that happen again, I said into the mind link, and that made Desperation even angrier. No. We know what happened the last time you decided to trust a rogue. I got hurt because of your stupidity and stubbornness the last time, and that's what you're doing again. You're letting my mate slip through my hands, Adrien. She's slipping and it won't end well for both of us, he argued back and went silent in my head. I sighed and looked over to where she was again. She looked so malnourished, yet so beautiful. Her platinum blonde hair that looks almost white looks uncared for but still matches well with her skin color nevertheless. The way her blue eyes seemed to glow amazed me. The human side doesn't get the glowing eyes, their wolf counterpart does. They seemed to be blazing and unhappy, and I wanted to hold her and tell her all will be well. Her tiny frame hurt me. She looks so frail and fragile, like she'd break if she lifts anything heavy. She makes me want to protect her from all evils of life, but I can't. I saw the way her eyes will flit towards me once in a while and she'll quickly look away in fear. My mate is not supposed to fear me, she's supposed to love me, and I've pushed her away from me. What was I expecting? Lola. I repeated her name severally in my head and it just sounded perfect for her. It's like nothing I've ever heard before, even though I know people in the pack with the same name. I remembered the way electricity ran through my body and all the blood in my body rushed towards my groin area when her shoulder bumped mine on the stairs earlier. I almost lost my balance when her sweet scent overwhelmed me. I think I got a favorite color and fruit now. You don't deserve to have that privilege with her, human. I should be the one to have such privilege. You're such a bastard for even thinking of her when you're going to reject her anyway. Why did the moon goddess pair me with such an idiot? Daxon growled in my head and I snickered mentally. I thought you were ignoring me. Why are you back? I asked him and he ignored me and went silent again. I swear he's such a girl sometimes. Nathan tapped me and I pulled myself out of my reverie. He looked at me puzzled. Why are you looking at me like that, man? I asked him. I'm sure you did not hear anything I said at all. I've been talking since forever and you did not reply to me. Hope everything is fine with you, Nathan asked me and I just shrugged my shoulders. I'm fine, dude. What did you say? I asked him to avoid being questioned, but he's my best mate and won't let it go. I see the way you've been looking at her, Adrien. You shouldn't lose your chance with her while she's still attracted to you. She seems hurt and has her guard up. Hurting her more will only break her. I've only known her for a day and she needs to be protected at all cost, not hurt, he said to me and I just sighed. I don't know, man. She can't rule alongside me even if she weren't a rogue. A weak one like her will bring a weakness if I accept her. I can't have a weakness as the next Alpha King. I need a woman that can stand her ground and rule my people, and Faye is the one capable of holding that position, I said to him, not even bothering to look at him. It will always break you, Adrien. Even though I haven't found my mate too, I know I'll do anything to protect her and be with her once I do, even if it means defying your orders as my alpha. You may make Faye your Luna, but I know who my true Luna is, Adrien, he said and made to stand up. I hope you actually see what's in front of you before it's too late. I don't see how you'll be able to avoid her now. She's basically under your nose. Make the right choice, buddy. He patted my shoulder and left towards the door. I'm off, Rose, he hollered at my mom and she frowned as she looked at him. What? I thought you were staying to have dinner with us. I prepared yours too, she purred at him and he laughed at her a little. I want to, but Mom just mind-linked me to tell me she made dinner already. You know how scary that woman can be if you waste her food, he said with his eyes wide with fake fear. Oh, I know, all right. Moon Goddess bless such a sweet soul. You send my regards to her and tell her we should have a girls' day out soon, Mom said as she went back to her cooking. I noticed Lola had gone rigid at this point. Was she afraid of Nathan? He seemed to notice too and smiled her way, making her wring her hands more and look down. Bye for now, Lola. See you around, he said to her in a soft voice and she nodded her head. Yes, Beta Nathan, she answered shakily and her voice sounded like music to my ears even though she sounded afraid. I wanted to wrap my hands around her and comfort her from whatever was making her scared, but Mom beat me to it. Darling, relax. You look so tense and anxious. I don't know what you've been through, but I promise you it's not going to happen anymore, Mom said to her softly, and I saw the way her eyes watered as she nodded slowly before they continued cooking. Seeing how she reacted, I couldn't bring myself to reject her. She doesn't deserve that kind of treatment from her mate. I'll reject her later, not just today. I can't do it today. I looked over at her one more time as I made my way to my room to grab my phone and some paperwork, and our eyes met. She held mine for a while before she quickly looked away. My breath hitched in my throat and my heart started going crazy. What am I going to do? Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates, link is given in description. Rest audiobook will be continued in next episode.